second-year Polytechnic student in Villupuram dies after being allegedly hit by his professor. Police also suggest that the boy had a history of epilepsy. Months after the poll debacle, the PMK pulls out of the DMK alliance, says it is willing to float a new alliance for the upcoming local body polls. The Bangalore High Court orders a notice to the special public prosecutor in the disproportionate assets case against Jayalalitha. The case is posted for tomorrow. Income tax officials from the city interrogate A. Raja for his involvement in the 2G spectrum scam. The team visit him at the Tihar jail. In a turnaround in the uniform syllabus case, the state's government's council admits in the Supreme Court that the amendment to the law was unnecessary. As the wait for textbooks continue, the DMK prepares to protest on Friday for the immediate implementation of the uniform syllabus. NDTV-HINDU does a reality check of the government employment exchange website. Errors and a flawed backup team mar this.com. A special story on billiards' unsung heroes, the referees who take up the profession only for the passion. And the countdown has begun for the NDTV-HINDU Lifestyle Awards. Who will take home the coveted Swarovski-studded cash? Good evening and welcome to NDTV-HINDU. This is the primetime bulletin that gears you with all of the day's top stories as it happens. News from the city, your very own state, and from across the nation as well. Let's also take you through the rest of the day's headlines as well. The Karnataka Lokayukta's 11-page mining scam names Yediyurappa. In fact, the Hegde has indicted Yediyurappa. An NDTV exclusive, Yediyurappa's most powerful backers, the Lingayat Mats, now slam him. After Ray Raja, it's now his close associate, ex-Telecom Secretary Siddharth Behura's turn to fight for bail in the 2G case. A stark reminder of unemployment in the country. PhDs and MBAs apply for peons jobs at universities in Rajasthan. New party roles in Pune, police say, take permission, submit invitees list and put up security cameras. A US court gives bail to Pakistan lobbyist Gulab Nabi Fai. He will be under house arrest. India's injured pace bowler Zaheer Khan could miss the second test versus England too, but who will replace him? In news just coming in, it's a huge relief for Kalanidhi Maran in the Sun Pictures case. He need not appear before the Chennai police tomorrow. Now, the Madras High Court has quashed the proceedings against the Sun Pictures COO in two of the cheating cases. The complainants have told the court that they've arrived at a compromise, and Mr. Kalanidhi Maran, in fact, was summoned regarding these cases of cheating and intimidation filed by film distributors against Sun Pictures COO Hansraj Saxena, who's currently behind bars. Now, in the most tragic story of a young life cut short, a second-year Polytechnic student in Villupuram succumbed to his injuries after his teacher reportedly hit him. The student was first asked a question to which the boy even posed an answer, but it was after that the boy was dragged out of his classroom and was beaten. And in fact, a previous enmity between the two seems to have triggered that attack. But the victim was rushed to a hospital after the fatal blows from the teacher, but was declared dead on arrival. Police are currently investigating the nature of death and the events that led to this death. Police also say that the boy repeatedly had a history of seizures. Well, scenes of dissent there coming in from his college there. Now, moving on to some political news. Months after the electoral debacle, the PMK has pulled out of the DMK-led alliance here in the state. The party with the mango symbol may now float a new alliance for local body polls in the state. Disillusioned after the recent poll defeat, remember the PMK had won just 3 out of 30 seats it contested in the April 13th assembly polls, but it will be interesting to see where it will really go to from this point and who it will ask to be members of that new alliance which it plans to form in for the recent and for the more recent polls that's coming up. In fresh developments in the disproportionate assets case against Amma, the Bangalore High Court has ordered a notice to the special public prosecutor. Now, this is in light of DMK's Anbaragan, who had challenged the Vigilance Department's decision to conduct further investigations into this case. Anbaragan had alleged that there was an attempt to destroy the evidence. As for now, the special court posted to August the 1st the hearing of 2 applications filed by Chief Minister Jayalalitha seeking exemption from personal appearance and that she be allowed to make a written submission in this case against her In fact, during the hearing today, second accused Shashikala, Ms. Jayalalitha's close aide, as well as fourth accused Ilavarasi were present. The other application filed by Ms. Jayalalitha to permit her to depose through video conference now will come up for arguments up on Monday. Moving on, the Income Tax Department today interrogated former Telecom Minister A. Raja, who is currently in judicial custody for alleged involvement in the 2G spectrum allocation case. The IT team reached the Patiala House Court premises this afternoon and questioned the DMK leader. Raja was quizzed regarding his family income. The department officials also got permission from the Delhi court to interrogate 6 accused, which included Raja, Swan Telecom's director Vinod Goenka, its promoter Shahid Usman Balwa, and 3 Reliance Group officials in judicial custody itself. Their interrogation would continue till the 29th of July. The Tamil Nadu government seems to be rather confused about where it stands in the uniform syllabus case. At the Supreme Court today, in a turnaround of sorts, the state government's counsel admitted that the amendment to the law of the uniform system of school education was unnecessary and that it was his personal stand on the case alone. Tamil Nadu's counsel also candidly admitted that the state government has landed itself in unnecessary trouble on this issue. The newly formed Jayalalitha government brought the amendment for postponing the implementation of the uniform system of education by a year. The Supreme Court wanted to know the reasons for bringing the amendment when the Madras High Court in a 2010 judgment said that the system can be implemented by this year or even the next after complying with certain directions. Meanwhile, the DMK is not sitting quiet about this. The party is raring to take to the streets on the 29th of July on the immediate implementation of the syllabus. They have asked students and teachers to join in support. The DMK has asked also and in fact accused the AIA-DMK government of being instrumental in scrapping the system altogether. Now comes September and Ranganathan Street in T Nagar may stop being the shopper's paradise that now it is, as the CMDA or the Chennai Metropolitan Development Authority plans to follow the Madras High Court's demolition orders on shops that violate the building norms and permits and skirt issues such as fire safety. All these shops have now a deadline of September end to reply to this notice. No building permit from the Chennai Metropolitan Development Authority. No NOC from the Fire and Rescue Services Department. Not adhering to the rules and regulations stipulated for a special building. Yes, this is the status report on almost all the shops at the Ranganathan Street, and many of them face the real threat of being shut down if shops do not reply to notices sent by the CMDA. According to a senior CMDA official, I quote, "In the meeting held this month, we have decided to send notices to all the buildings which do not have the building norms laid by the CMDA. An approximate deadline set by us is September end. If the concerned building owners fail to reply by the given deadline, we might have to seal all those buildings." Unquote. Here are the names of some of the shops and the norms being violated by them.
Everything has been happening without permits, without license. It's been going on like that for a lot. How many number of years, I do not know.
Civic officials say the rules are very clear for regular and special buildings as well.
The new buildings that are being built, we are very strict. We have already issued hundreds of notices to the violators. With regard to the old buildings, we will wait for the decision from the government. Whatever government orders, we will simply implement that.
Shop owners refused to comment on camera, but conceded that norms are being violated. One of the building owners say, and I quote, "Yes, it's very common on the street, but even the government decides to take the action only when they receive complaints from people."
Ranganathan Street, one of the busiest roads in Chennai, where more than 3,000 shops do their business every day. But the scary part is, hardly any of the shops follow basic fire safety norms. And if we believe to the fire safety department, if any day fire takes place during the rush hour, it's going to be very difficult to bring the situation under control.
As far as the T Nagar are concerned, 90% of the shops are violated on public, very without an inch of place. they are moving, crowd will be there. But our police outposts all will be there. They have addressing system, so they evacuate the people. But negotiating such a mass is not easy one.
And not just shops, even some hotels violate, like the Taj Kamar, which had got the license for a restaurant but is running a fully fledged lodge without proper license. In Chennai with Sudarshan, Evelyn Matthew for NDTV Hindu. When we come back, the men who grabbed headlines for robbing CCTV cameras along with their beauty product loot have been identified. More on that story in just a minute.